I connected with your passion in breaking down the barriers of inequality. You've turned shame and prejudice into strength and service. And I am here tonight to just say thank you. Thank you for being such an incredible woman and giving us hope. It really is an honor for me to present you with this Lifetime Achievement Award. Congratulations.
Thank you so much indeed. Thank you.
And congratulations once again to the amazing Professor Dame Elizabeth Anyon-Wu.
I think you can find the full edition of that video on YouTube. Very inspiring story. So thanks for staying with us now. Dame Elizabeth Nneka Anyon, OMDBE FRCN, is a British nurse, healthcare administrator, lecturer, and emeritus professor of nursing at the University of West London. Now, in 1979, Anyon became the United Kingdom's first sickle cell and thalassemia nurse specialist, helping establish the Brent Sickle Cell and Thalassemia Counseling Centers with consultant hematologist Milika Brozovic. Now, in 1998, by then a professor of nursing, Anyon created the Mary Sickle Center for nursing practice at the center of West London. Now, she holds the Order of Merit, and she was appointed a Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire, and she's also a Fellow of the Royal College of Nursing, that's RCN. Now, today we want to celebrate the life of an exceptional woman who saw a problem and made it her life purpose to fix it, and in turn saved millions of lives. So today we're asking, right? How can we also start to live a life of impact and purpose? Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-8463. You can also tweet at us at Wayshow Africa 1 with the hashtag Wayshow. All right, so I don't know. Isi, did you watch the video?
Yes, I did.
Can you help us establish why we are celebrating this woman?
Now, this woman is an amazing woman in the context that she was selfless and she went out of her way to create a solution to the problem of sickle cell anemia, which is currently being experienced by only those of African descent or Caribbean descent. And she did this without any funds at first. She went out of her way to solicit for funds, get the individuals interested in her project, and established a center for this. Not because she wanted to do this because she wanted to make money out of it, but to create this impact was stemmed from the need to help. Because as a nurse, she had a patient that was in so much pain and she needed to know what the problem was. And there was no, they didn't have any information. There was no awareness of what sickle cell anemia was at the time. It was limited to just a selected few. So she went out of the way to research on this and get more information on it and created awareness through her foundation and through her research center for this. And she found people coming to her from different walks of life that were experiencing the same symptoms of sickle cell anemia. And that was where she knew that she was onto a big thing. And she did this selflessly, basically. Now, for her to create this impact, she didn't go out of her way to, just do it because she was, she wanted to make money. She did this because she wanted to show love to those who were in need of her help. She wanted to create a solution to a problem. She was innovative in the context that she went out of her way to research on sickle cell anemia and educate people on it. What causes this?
Yeah.
When the blood cells are SS basically instead of AS or AA.
I
And we
mean,
didn't know this.
see, so the thing is, it's one thing for you to be in a profession, but it's another thing for you to be in a profession that you are passionate about. So when we were
Yes.
talking about, for instance, the school and all of that, if you are passionate, it shows even in the delivery of your work. This is a
Yes.
nurse. I mean, we've had several nurses. There's one wicked nurse like that when I fell ill and all of, I know how she dealt with me. But you see, this is a nurse that she saw her patients in pain. You understand?
Yes.
And didn't come and say, well, I beg, gather yourself or whatever. She kept on wondering because it was an ailment that had no name. Nobody understood what it was, but she just noticed that people were in excruciating pain, and it was almost like she was helpless. She said, no, I cannot you understand? I cannot just watch these people in pain and all of that and not do anything.
Yes.
And guess what? I remember when the part of the video where they said that the people that she had impacted should turn on their torch. It brought tears to my eyes. And this is just a tiny, what's it called, number compared to the millions of people that she has affected, in terms
Absolutely.
of just that one act of, let me just do something about this. Right? I mean, a lot of times we face challenges, there are problems and all of that. We always look at the problem, and some of us,
We are overwhelmed by the
Yes,
problems
but you
instead of
see,
seeking solutions to it.
I believe that the many problems that we have in Nigeria, it's an immense opportunity. If we truly want to change the country, if we want to change the narrative, if we want to impact lives, there are more opportunities here to make an impact, right? To change, So imagine if all of us start to take away self from the equation and start to think, okay, you know what? How can I bring some level of good to let's even start with your immediate community. Do you understand? Let's not even go too far. Let's start with your immediate community. What good can I do that can change the lives of people around? I think we would be a lot better. But let me hear your thoughts, NJ. When you saw Dame Elizabeth's video, how did it come to you?
Well, it just, first of all, lets you know that a lot of people are doing things out there. So, first of all, from the point of view that there are a lot of people going around thinking of how to impact other people's lives. So it's not a personal thing. They're not thinking about like Isi mentioned. They're not those are minor, thoughts when it comes to for them. For people like the honored dame, it comes from a point of how do I make someone else's life better, and that's where her work, everything that she has done in the last how many years, you can see her work and how it has been very impactful because she seems like a person that thinks about other people. Mm-hmm. So when you think about other people, and one thing that people don't understand is that there's a life, I don't know how to
principle.
Put it. You understand? There's a principle. It goes
law of
round.
Attraction, yeah.
So, thank you. So it's like the law of attraction. You see, what you give out is what you get back. You can see how she seems so warm, so soft, so lovable. And that's because that is what she has exhumed for years and years of service, even as being a nurse. Just like Uwa mentioned, you meet nurses every day. But it's not every nurse. I know how many nurses I've met in my lifetime. But even though it's a short one so far. But I would probably remember maybe one or two. And that's because of the kind of impact they left. And that's the thing about impact. You always have to stand out and be different. You can't go through the norm and stand out. It's not possible. The only people that get to stand out are people who do things that other people are not doing.
Absolutely. All right, so thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, we're discussing living a life of impact and purpose. Now, remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You can also tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. I can never ever have this conversation without coming back to us in Nigeria and what drives us as a people. So I clearly, saw this selfishness, you understand, play out in the way all the drama and all the whatever that happened around the elections, you can clearly tell when someone was thinking nation building, and you could clearly tell when somebody was thinking, what is in it for me? What is in it for my pocket? And I like what you said, NJ. That's the truth. It's almost like, I don't want to call it that part of the Bible, like seek first the kingdom of God. Every other thing will be added onto you, right? But that's how it works when it comes to structure, right? That's how it works when it comes to structure, because if you first of all are selfless and you give, there is no way your basic needs, there's no way like this woman now, tell me what she would be looking for in this life. It's impossible. But you see, that's the principle. But you see, that's that mindset that makes me feel like, let me grab all I can grab, right? And all of that. I say it, when I see people like that, I can't even relate with you, because you're a very small-minded person. When you're thinking only about yourself and what it is, and now, you're a very small-minded person. And it's only very few people that are able to transcend, this problem of, self. A lot of people are in that place, right? Where they're always thinking about self. But let me come back to you, Isi.
Okay. Basically, what I was trying to say is that she has been a source of, she has created this impact based on her innovation, and she's also created the impact based on selflessness, basically, which was what you stated. But it's also coming from a place of passion and love for human beings, which we will bring back to Nigeria. I don't know if it's because she's not living in the country that she's the way she is, but let's take it down to individuals like Jesus, Mahatma Gandhi, we have Martin Luther King. These individuals did these things selflessly.
Nelson Mandela, at some point.
Yes, Nelson Mandela as well. They all, carried people along, and they tried to seek a solution to a problem, which was at that point in time quite important, to carry people along. Everybody needs a leader that will guide them, or that individual that will give them that solution to a problem. However, we also have individuals, as we now come down through the generation, we now have individuals who are not so interested in humanity. They're not so interested in giving, but more of receiving. We've had foundations set up, and these foundations that have been set up, they do not actually even give. They look for a way to give and collect from the other hand, especially in Nigeria.
Oh, so no. Again, you are touching a very sensitive place, because hey, all these NGOs there. Oh, no. There's a lot of scammers out there.
Who are supposed to actually
I said that there are some of them, not all of them.
No, I said a lot of them are actually fraudulent.
Yes. A lot of them. I am taking this based on the fact that, what's his name? Jimmy Disu said this thing during one of his morning shows, and he said that the NGOs in Nigeria are not stepping up to the plate. They are always looking for ways to collect instead of give. So we have had this selfish mentality being passed down through the generation. And if you look at the ladder, as they get younger, they get more selfish, they get more entitled, and they get more self-centered and not really interested in giving to anybody. It's a case of you scratch my back.
So I need us to understand, I want us to address that, because I think, so are we driven by, so I'm trying to wrap my head around why we're now having a generation of people that are no longer selfless as before. Because again, it seems like, in fairness, this new generation, the Gen Zs, even the millennials, right? Only very few people think, collective, think for the good of greater good and all of that. Why are we having that, right? Because is it something that is fueled by survival? Is it something that is fueled by the harsh living conditions? Because again, even in the midst of some of this harshness, I have seen people, right? They are hungry, and yet they're still trying so
Yes,
hard to feed someone
thriving.
else. Because I believe that the natural habitat, the natural nature to which every human being is wired, right? Your natural nature is for you to be a person of impact, somebody that gives love, somebody that, you know, naturally.
humane.
So there must definitely have been somewhere where that thing is distorted. Because, I mean, you could not look away from problems before. I remember that when I was coming into Lagos, I mean, because where we were before, it was easy that when you see someone stranded on the road, right, you could easily just get up and say, you know what, you want to go and help the person. But I remember it was almost like continuous re-emphasizing that, please, Lagos is different from, you know, Kaduna, where you are coming from and all of that. See people on the road, leave them. Again, because fear, right? You're not even sure who needs the help, who is there to harm you and all of that. So a lot of us have become so detached, you know, when it comes to our emotions or feelings. Do you understand? We have disconnected very, very widely. So you are able to just still stomach somebody really going through pain, and you're just, you know, not even doing anything about it, right? So I don't know, how did we get to where we are today, where we're no longer living, you know, for impact, we're not living for purpose. Everybody just wants to live for the gram. Now, today, I watched a very lengthy interview, a podcast with Kim Kardashian and what's this guy's name? The Jim Vischer or something. What's that his name? On his podcast. I think the name of the podcast is On Purpose. And I remember there was a question where he asked her about something. And she said something. She said, many years ago, if there was a fire in her house, because she lived in a place where there was always fire, that they would go all out to make sure all her designer bags, her shoes, her whatever, everything had to come out of that building, right? Then it progressed to some point where she now said, you know what, let's take out maybe the bags and the shoes, leave the remaining things, we'll get those ones. Then it got to a stage where she just said, you know what, maybe we should just take out I think it was maybe just the bags or something. She said, now, as long as she is able to just carry her children and their passports only, every other thing can burn. That it took her years to get to where she is today, where she's no longer thinking materialistic, you know. And she was asked why she's studying law, and she said, see, if she was not doing anything in this world, she would like to be a lawyer, just because she knows the capacity to which a lawyer can help another human being, maybe gain freedom or something. That is somebody that has gone through life, seeing that there's really nothing in this life, you know, and now she's transcended beyond the material. But where we are right now, we are all like a lot of young people are like in that phase of hunger. You know, that phase of, you know what, I want it all, I want it all. Maybe that's why it's difficult for us to find people that are living, you know, for purpose. Instead, they're just living for the gram and all of that. But Angel, you wanted to come in.
Yeah, there's a difference. So when we talk about this life of impact, we say it like it's a big word. The difference is just you thinking about other people before thinking about self. And when you think about, there's a difference between living an impactful life and living a purposeful life. So I feel like living a purposeful life is a bit more internal. So I change things about myself.
Intentionality.
I intentionally change things about myself. And at the end, it impacts the world. Do you understand? So because I'm a good person, good things, definitely, you know that wherever I'm around, something good is going to happen, or there will be truth, there will be justice, there will be those kind of, you know, outcomes. So we have to, asking where we got it wrong. Obviously, this happened before us. It happened before us. But along the way, first of all, how was Nigeria even colonized?
That one too far.
No. But you see, if you want to know how you got to where you are, you have to know where you are coming from.
I'm not even talking about. So if we want to bring it.
No. I'm not even going to go deep into
Nigeria.
I'm just saying we got to the point where we were. It has come to this point because we have always been people who maybe at the back end, a majority of us think for self. So by thinking for self, you were thinking about how you will enrich yourself, your immediate family, your people, and then you sold the whole country. Do you understand? And then that in turn, you have given birth to generations, and with the birth of every generation, everything increases. Where we are now, we're talking about Gen Z, and we can see that everything is increasing. mental health is increasing. Everything is, and is put on a big screen. So definitely, even the bad things too will be put on a big screen, and that's how we have gotten where we are. And we have said it even, and we've seen this thing play off in politics, in our daily lives, in how we attend to even medical situation, personal situation, emotional situations. Is more about me, myself, and I before any other person. And up until we get to the point as a people to remember that we are a people and we survive, the only way we can survive and move forward is as a people.
Collectively.
Then if we don't do it collectively, we will all continue to suffer individually. That's just what it is. So until we get to the point where we think about, even in politics, until we get to the point where we can elect leaders without being selfish, based on facts, based on, certain principles and lay down ground rules, until we get to that point, then we haven't started. Every time we have a political conversation, we say we are not there yet, meaning that we're not ready for where we're supposed to be.
NJ, I say NJ. Isi, you wanted to say something.
Oh, well, NJ stated something, and what actually resonated with me was social media. Social media is also one of the basic or biggest influences that has, made the generation, made our generation the way it is today. We always like to do things for face value, for people to, give us some sort of gratification immediately. And at the end of the day, what happens is that we have gotten our immediate gratification and we do not look forward to, making an extra effort to make that impact positively. So another thing is, what is the influence that we are looking at? Are we looking at the positive influences or we're looking at the negative influences from the social media? That is what is making us impactful or not impactful as individuals in our society. So some people tend to look out for things that are not of interest, that do not actually have that niche for growth, for the growth of their immediate environment. I have seen individuals where they do not even have to do something mega like Professor did, but in their immediate environment, they just go out of their way. Oh, Mama James has not eaten. Let me pack a bag of rice and go and give it to her. And at the end of the day, that is her impact. That is what she can actually afford. But still, we still have people who would take that bag of rice and film it on social media and say, I've given Mama James bag of rice. At the end of the day, they'll say, oh, this person is good and this person is great. So we are so selfish to the extent that we do not think about what we are doing for those people, but what we can do for ourselves, basically.
Oh, wow.
Maya Angelou made a statement, and she said that do not think, people do not remember what you can do for them. Basically, they do not remember what you've said. They do not remember how you must have acted around them, but they always remember how you have made them feel. So that feeling of gratification is what they needed from you, a solution to their problem. But at the end of the day, we have turned it around in such a way, like a ripple effect, that, oh, what I've done for you is boomeranging back to me. It must come back to me, basically. So that entitlement that, oh, I have done this and we are growing together. It's not just me giving. That love is not that deep. It can always come back to me.
Okay, so let's take comments.
So I have a comment here that says, a life of service supersedes all else. If we pursue it, reward and recognition will come in on its way. Dame Anyanwu's work has saved countless lives and families from heartache and should be forever immortalized. I am thrilled to see her being recognized and hope she will be a beacon to other people to live selflessly and impactfully.
Isi, a comment, please.
Okay, this is from Daniel Illo, a regular fan of Ways. He says, good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying? #Ways. Living a life of impact and purpose. Living a life of impact and purpose is very healthy. I will suggest that we don't give We don't keep our gifts and talents to ourselves. We need to interact with people. My dear, beautiful sister, one Jaga, made mention of people thinking about people instead of themselves. That is being selfless and not selfish. That is what creating an impact means. So sad we lost a legend and an icon. Tina Turner, may her gentle soul rest in perfect peace. My late father happened to be her fan. Thank you, Daniel Ilo.
Thank you,
Yes, she will be
Daniel.
greatly
Thank you,
missed.
Daniel. So, I mean, impact is in different, what's it called, forms. Like EC rightly, hinted when she was talking about positive and negative. In fairness, right, I think what we have seen lately in our lives as people are more of the negatives, right? The high rise in crime, the high rise in, what's it called, drug use and abuse, the high rise in, what's it called?
Fraudulent activities.
Fraud, criminalities and all of that. We see that a lot happening. So we're just hoping that for the little people that are out there that still have some level of good in them, right? Start to do something today that would probably find a way to imprint positivity in the hearts of the people around you. Because that's the only way we can solve this problem. The truth is that there is absolutely no problem that took so many people to solve. Usually it is one person that decides that I want to solve this problem and we get a solution. Jerry Rawlings saw a problem with the political structure in Ghana and he did something that changed, the entire atmosphere of the political space in Ghana, right? So, whatever opportunities that you would find in your sphere, and this is not you, this is you staying within your sphere, find something that you can do that would change the lives of the people around you. And hopefully we'll have a better world for it. But thank you so much, EC. Thank you, NJ. We had a good conversation. Now, thank you everyone that sent in their messages. Now, before we go, ensure you follow us across all our social media handles and drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our engagements on social media. Like, share, and invite your families and friends to follow and watch the conversation. I was just going to say that, did you people see that man that the whole of Nigeria is looking for him, that is apologizing for the interview he granted on BBC? Maybe that's what we'll talk about, because that one he has impacted so many lives.
Yes, by costing all
I'm telling you.
the first business.
But if you missed our quote, here it is again. You are only great to the degree you impacted others with your life. And this is from Sunday Adelaja. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Maybe we'll discuss that man. We'll go and look for him. They'll return you back to Nigeria.
Everyone is looking for him.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.